In last week's video I made this collet to be used here in the dividing head. And I made this because the normal decal model, that of course has to fit here in this adapter, take this ring off, in theory they should work, no problem. But because of the bore here inside is too small to receive the thickness of a nut, this one won't work. And then I received an email from Huub. And Huub, he lets me know that the drawbar that's inside the spindle here, that of course has the right thread to spin on here. If I take it out, normally it should fit the dividing head. That should be something. So today's little project, take out the drawbar out of the spindle and see if it works in here. That was easy. Shit. Nope. This is of course not the original decal dividing head. This is a copy. And I'm not even sure it's made for the FP1. But as you can see, this one, no. But maybe the one for the vertical head is a little bit smaller. You never know until you try, right? It's on the floor. To make it a little bit easier to work, I installed the vertical head back here on the machine, and I also installed the boring head, so there was something to hold on, because I had to pull out this reducer here, and of course when the head is not on the machine it spins freely, and so now it's in gear. Doesn't spin. And luckily I checked my documentation before I started hammering and angle grinding, because this ring here holds the drawbar in place, and it looks like you just have to slide it on, but no, knock the pin out and then you can unscrew it. Nope. I think we can conclude that this was not really a success. But luckily I have more collets. All I have to do is cut them free. I have here a slitting saw arbor that I already made out of 3 separate pieces. And of course this thing takes slitting saws. Now I took a very big one just for video purposes. And as always, of course, there's a problem with it. To use this thing, of course, I install it in the spindle. And then I take whatever saw blade I need and then take care that the teeth are in the right direction. This thing is spinning that way, so the teeth that way. Until here, officially no problem. But the screw to hold the saw in place is only a slitted thing here, so you cannot put a lot of torque on it. And even worse, it is a left-hand thread, which means if this thing spins and the slitting saw is binding a little bit, it loosens the screw and it doesn't spin anymore. So this one not good. My first idea was very simple. This is a 10mm left-hand thread. So in fact all I have to do is drill this thread out and I can cut it metric 12, and in theory it should work. But I have only 2mm here between the slit and the thread here. So this thing is gonna break. Plus this is a nice ground surface and it is very, very hard. So change of plans, let's make a new one. And the plan is to do all this here on the Celtic lathe. Because for a previous project I had to cut this taper and the top slide is still at the right angle. So that's a win. And I still have the cutting tool to make this special thread here. Portress thread or something, I don't remember. That was so nice on this machine, taking 2mm cuts with a very nice feed, and the machine doesn't even feel it. And look at the finish, it's perfect. I would like to have this more or less 32, so 1.5 to go. Made a mistake here. I wanted it to be 32, but it's 32.40. Get off a little bit more. Now it's at 32. Right, let's cut down this portion here for the thread. And this is 20mm by 24. This little portion is now to thread cutting size. And first I want to cut the taper. And because the top slide is set in the right angle but in the wrong direction, I have to cut it on that side of the part. Which means no center support, a lot of stick out, and also my cutting tool a lot of stick out. So it is a little bit sketchy setup. But first I want to cut the taper, because if I see this doesn't work, I have something to hold on here on this side where the thread will be. Is not yet. And to gain some space here, as you can see, I took off the tailstock and it's hanging here in the nothing. That doesn't work. And I also see that there's run out. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, change of plans. I completely changed the setup. I set the angle in the other direction. And now let's see what happens. And this should be it. And of course it would be nice if I could do a test fit, but I don't have anything that I can bring over here to test. So let's hope for the best and start cutting this thread. While I was cutting the thread here, I hear this little click that no one likes to hear. So I take my cutting tool out, and indeed it's broke. So it means that now my cutting tool is pointless. Let's fix it. Ready to go. I made a new one because the old one was more or less unfixable. And of course I picked up the thread again. Let's see if it works. Right, let's cut it to length and do the other side. I already started cutting a little bit and then I thought, alright, wait a second, maybe first do a test fit. And that's what I did. I put the thing in place and I see that it's not perfect, but it's close. It's touching here, some kind of bend here. And the other lines, it's okay-ish, but I think it will work. So now let's continue, cut it off. Good. When I started this project, of course I forgot to mention that this arbor with the left-hand thread in here could work very well with slitting saw like this one, because it has a key slot in it and here the keyway, and of course the key will prevent it from spinning in relationship one to each other. But I also have a collection of slitting saws without the key slot. So this won't work. And that's why I left the new one 1 millimeter oversized. And I'm gonna finish it off here in the milling machine. I have a cute little insert for aluminium, and let's use the milling machine as a lathe. And the reason why I do it here is of course to make sure it will run concentric. On the lathe it's perfectly possible, but I think it's a little bit complicated. This will be a lot easier. Just because sometimes I'm a little bit curious, before I start cutting, I installed my indicator on the shaft, just to see how much runout there is. And there is 4 100ths. So for the imperials, this is 1 thou. I think that's a good result. Right, let's start cutting. Surface finish is not good. Let's find another tool. No need to go and find another tool, because I took a measurement and I was lucky this time and the thing fits. So all I have to do now is learn to live with a not good finish on this shaft. And of course also cut off a bolt to length and make a little washer that comes here. Let's do. Done. Let's do a little bit of assembly. Maybe put it lower. To make sure it works, maybe I should cut something. It works! This seems to work just fine. And of course the reason why I almost cut the shaft here too small is because on the lathe, when I dial in 1, I reduce the diameter of 1. And on this machine, if I dial in 1, I reduce the radius of 1, which means diameter minus 2. So that was a close call, but all in all, success. I received some stickers this week from Andrea, and he's situated in Italy. His YouTube channel is named MecMod Homeshop. Now the fun trick, I have a tackle FP1 and he's got a tackle FP2. Please go and have a look and subscribe. Of course, as always, there's a link to his channel here in the description. And last week I talked about this drill chuck that is a little bit out of line and I didn't know how to take it apart. And so I received a ton of email and comments to help me out, and thank you very much for this. Which means now, as you can see, I have it apart. The YouTube University. But wait, there is more. I also received a little package from Martin. And Martin, he already gave me a lot of things before this. And in this package there is this very, very nice keyless drill chuck with the Morse taper 3. Which of course fits the lathe. So Martin, thank you very much for your generosity. And by the way, I didn't forget to work on my James Watt micrometer. It's just that I need a tab that I ordered and that didn't arrive yet. So for the moment I'm stuck with this one. But maybe one day